I'll be calling my colleague and the boss. The name is Tobilova Owali. We'll be taking us through Kaspersky here. And after that, please go for question and answer. We want it to be interactive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure seeing everyone here. Really appreciate the gesture. We appreciate the gesture of honoring our presence. So I'm going into Kaspersky NIST EDR, XDR, and MDR. So I'm talking in terms that you will understand that I see professional because a lot of us have mature cybersecurity outfits in our organizations, and I'm talking in terms that makes sense for you, that you can use these numbers to take to your management, take to your board, ensure that your system is well protected. Okay, so title of my presentation is From Complexity to Confidence. The reason why I chose this topic is because we believe that one way or the other we have some form of cybersecurity solution in place in our organization. Sometimes we have overloaded tools. We have lots of tools, and one day you're doing one specific thing, one thing you're doing one specific thing. When you're doing reports, you need to investigate, come the nice way. So we're solving cybersecurity challenges and complexity. Kaspersky NIST EDR, XDR, and MDR. Let's go to the next. Yes, so it's a daring statement. Complexity is hindering security. Threats are changing. 21% of threats are changing. Threat landscape is growing and changing right now. This is not something new. Something is new. M&S was attacked. We've been emphasizing that multiple times. You can't say they don't have security outfits in place. No, because you have sophisticated outfits in place. However, they were still attacked. You lost over 300 million pounds just within a space of few weeks. It's in public domain. And you cannot order for a long time. So 37% more alerts. The volume and complexity of security alerts are decreased. So especially for people that monitor laws, cybersecurity analysts that monitor laws, you see that these threats are always changing, they're always evolving, it's always getting bigger and bigger. So you have more to protect. Attack surface and grown. It will keep growing, it's not going to stop. So, and this is why we must also always evolve with our cybersecurity solution in our organization. So infrastructure is also changing. The attack surface is continuously changing and evolving. So infrastructure must also change. So no sector is spared. The most hit sectors so far, government, followed by the financial sector, followed by the industrial sector, followed by IT and telco. They are competing for the most hit sector. Then we have transportation, education, healthcare, mass media, and other industries. Next. So this is a chart of incidents over the past 2 years. 38% accidental human error is the number one reason for incident. So with this chart, you can see you have 1 is 19%, 2 to 3 is 33%, 4 to 5 is 15%, 6 to 9 is 6%, and 10 plus is 4%. So we are talking about the number of employees that have been a cause for this incident. So you can see the chart here. It says 77% at least one incident that happened in each organization. So listen to that. So now, how did employees cause this incident? Highest so far has been malicious file download. So most of the time they are sent phishing emails, they are embedded within documents or within links. Before you know it, they are attacked. There was the time I got a phishing link from one of my Nigerian banks. A phishing email from one of my Nigerian banks, and it was an alert. I immediately I saw it, I recognized it, I knew it was a phishing email. So I didn't do any action. The only thing is I just notified my accountant and I let them know that I got a suspicious email and I didn't do anything. If I need to check in out. It's a Nigerian bank, it's a popular bank. So the second one is weak or unchanged password. So there are people that use weak password. You use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you add your name, you put out. Those are weak passwords. Or you leave your password, maybe you change because there's something called security habits. Good security habits is once you have a password that you know that you've been using for a long time, and come up with another sophisticated one can be, a lot more complex than you want to be using for. You can space yourself and say maybe 60 days, 90 days. After 60 days or after 90 days, you can change the password. We enforce this for some of our customers that we provide Microsoft 365 solutions for. So they expire after a period of time. They are forced to change the password. So they are trying to ensure a good cybersecurity habit. So another one is unsecured websites. Some people don't know the website they are not supposed to use. Some people don't know some websites are harmful. So you also have unauthorized data sharing. Unauthorized data sharing systems. Sometimes in your companies, you don't do device controls. So people in their companies don't do device control when they are in their output. So peripheral devices such as hard drives, flash, you just go into system, you take what you want to take. Even if those systems are infected, because there are some peripheral devices they call keylogger that you can insert into a machine and it's already taking stock of everything you're typing. So that's another form of sophisticated attack. It can happen to anybody. This thing is not something so sophisticated. They sell them online. So anybody can get it and just you don't know, maybe they are targeting a high profile individual in the organization. And the employee is the one that's trying to target the person. You can use that device and just plug it in, do what you want to do, install the software, and take it out. That whole process, nobody knows about. And if it's a feature such as device control has been put in place, that will flag it immediately. So we also have phishing. This is very common. There is no week that will pass that I don't get phishing emails. So, and this is a very good segue into Kaspersky Automated Security Awareness Platform, which, if a lot of employees are well informed, are cyber aware, they know what to do when they get phishing emails. They know how to respond. They know how to eliminate this and mitigate this inevitable threats because they will always win. They will always win. So this one that updates, a lot of people are guilty about this one. Even me, sometimes I'm guilty because I don't want to update to something that is not stable yet. You just want to use the one that is stable. Sometimes you update your software and you discover something is not working just because an update has been made. So they'll keep updating to fix those bugs and we fall prey to things like that. Then unauthorized devices as well. This one is also common. Because some organizations they don't allow personal devices into the organization because those other devices they can't account for them. They don't have their software implemented, their security solutions implemented on other devices that are alien to the company. So sometimes when employees bring unknown devices into the organization, they can use that to launch attacks as well. So now, these are existing challenges and threats to an organization's information security. 41% of InfoSec professionals say their organization's cybersecurity as somewhat significantly understaffed. These InfoSec professionals, I know there are lots of CISOs here, CIOs here that understand what I'm saying. When you have a lot of systems that are siloed in different security outfits, you have to go through logs for each one of them to mitigate, or not even to mitigate, to proactively attack attacks that might come. You never know when they will come, but you want to check those logs. You want to go through them. You have to go through them one by one. You don't have a centralized system where you can aggregate all of those logs into one system to check those logs. That becomes a nightmare. So you have analysts going over that for weeks, for months, and it looks like you're understaffed. So 77% of companies experience at least one cyber incident in the past 2 years, with many suffering up to the same period. The attack might be controllable. It might not be so damaging. But one way or the other, within 2 years, you can't escape it. You see at least an attempt, even if the security solutions you have in place have already eliminated that threat. So next time. So now you have the best in class tools. So why are there breaches? 70% of breaches begin at the endpoint. This was said by Verizon EDR in 2024. And 67% of companies say their tools don't integrate well. So this is also another nice thing for a lot of organizations. Integration of different tools. Lots of tools don't integrate well. Sometimes it can be knowledge gap, sometimes it can be the lack of interoperability between the tools. So now, we're going to be talking about EDRs, XDRs, and MDRs. I'm going to divide them into use cases, and we're going to talk about the problems that they encounter, that a lot of companies encounter. We're going to talk about solutions, and we're going to talk about the outcomes as well. So for EDR, the use case is phishing bypass. The bypass phishing. Once that phishing email, once the person falls through, the script will execute, and before you know it, your data is being leaked. And you might not know, they might be running in the background. Yes, go ahead. So the problem, the user clicks the phishing link, the script runs in memory undetected, and the existing tools doesn't act on behavior. So now the solution. The solution is Kaspersky NIST EDR, set behavior, also isolates the endpoint, and sends full investigation timeline immediately. So that's endpoint detection and risks. So detect it and responding. And when it's responding, it's also isolating the endpoints from the workspace so it doesn't infect other systems in the workplace, and sends a full investigation to their mail. And now the outcome is it cuts investigation time by 12 hours a week. This is a lot of company resources, a lot of expensive time that this solution has helped to improve efficiency within team. So now you have 75% reduction in false negatives as well. So sometimes when people think these things are attacked, EDR can immediately see them, recognize them, okay, it's normal behavior. It's not a abnormal behavior. So now, what you gain in capacity, you have real-time behavior-based detection. What this means is the security solution EDR sits in the organization and monitors normal organizational behavior. So he understands what your organization goes on the internet to do, how it interacts with other systems, and immediately it notices an abnormality, it triggers, and it does what it's supposed to do. So a big differentiator for Kaspersky amongst the big players in the same industry. Kaspersky is a big player. We have Sotos, also a big player. We have CrowdStrike, also. So the big differentiator for Kaspersky is a feature called adaptive anomaly control. So what that means is um, in your organization, the the software sits in the workspace and it understands just what I explained now. It understands what each user does. So it also generates full meta attack chains and response steps. So the solution is 70% faster incident triage, 3 times your analyst productivity. So instead of your analyst going to the different solutions you have in place, checking them one by one, you save a lot of time. 3 times the time to take your analysis. You save a lot of time in terms of productivity and efficiency. So what we stand today? You said my time low. What is that today? No, this is NDR. Yes. So you have centralized visibility, just like what I explained before. Have all your solutions in one place because you have integrated all your solutions in one place with Kaspersky XDR. You have the attack story in real time. What this means is, as for example, if an attack is happening, you have visibility into it with XDR. How the behavior is happening, you have it in real time. Even after it has happened, you still have it. When it is happening, you can see it in real time. You have visibility. So you also have smart prioritization. What this means is helping your team save time while being efficient and being productive. So because it helps you to streamline all your tools in one. And it also helps you with generating audits and reports. So it has seamless coexistence with CrowdStrike support, Microsoft 365, CMs, SOARs, name it. You have everything. FDR is built for interoperability. So this is not replacing any of your solutions. This is helping you enhance your solution. So yes, let's move to MDR. So MDR is managed detection and response. So an example of this use case is weekend reach court before Monday. The problem is you have after hours exploits around 2 a.m. noticed by internal team. After hours exploit went unnoticed by internal team. So you have your solution. Kaspersky MDR detected, escalated, responded at 2:17 a.m. Sent actionable report to the internal team. And the outcome is you avoided a 7-figure breach and you also have peace of mind. So the next question. Once you start to gain next 10 years, you have around the clock protection, have human-led investigation and threat hunting, you have audit ready response, especially for people in governance, governance compliance as well. Your team focuses on strategy and not sleepless nights because you have MDR in place. So now I just did one for compliance people as well because governance compliance is very important, especially for MDR because MDR is mostly built compliance. So you have regulator request proof. Are you ready? Is it when they ask for proof, you have to start scrambling about looking for how to do your audit, how to do your report. The problem is probably together gather logs from multiple solutions. Then the solution is catastrophic forensic logs, incident reports. All these outputs align with ISO, NIST, GDPR, CDN. So the outcome is reporting time reduced from weeks to hours. So this is emphasizing on efficiency for you. This is emphasizing on productivity for you. So yes, I think that's the end. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toby. So we have sessions for question and
Oh, okay.
So do we have, like we have mentioned, we need it to be very interactive, and that's why we're not talking about technical. Thank you. So you can help us with your name and your organization.
Also, sorry, before the question. In front of you, you have access card. Those QR codes, you can scan them to book consultations. The consultations will give you access to free trials. They also call them proof of concept. So you can test these solutions out for yourself before you even make a decision. So you're making an informed decision when you're going to your board to speak about this thing. So access card in front of you. You know, when you scan them, you have how you can where you can book this consultation. We are happy to give you the free trial for you to test these things. So thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll answer the first question. For the products, if they are cloud built or they are on-prem, right? Okay. So Kaspersky next, if you are, so um, unless people on Kaspersky wants to share more light on that.
So come on.
Thank you very much. So,
I wanted to
one
show everybody.
okay. Yeah, so for the Kaspersky Lex, the next EDR to next EDR foundation will like the by cloud services. But for the XDR now, the XDR expert is from premise.
Thank you for that. So the first question is, we have about intelligence fields, such as data litany. Yes. Kaspersky is one of the most certified um, um, uh, campus cybersecurity solutions currently with it. And that's also Ghana this time as well. So we've gone through a lot of reviews, a lot of peer review. So before the time in Ghana for the time, getting they have a lot of intelligence, a lot of data they can for them to recognize known threat and unknown threat. So that's what EDR is. You recognize both known threat and unknown threat. So yes. So if you can also engage us for transparent account and when have competition, especially with transfer provide the online. Thank you very much. Hello. Yeah. Sorry, can I get a question?
Oh, how robust the intent. Yeah, I think Benjamin can also do it. How robust.
Okay, yes, the intelligence is quite robust, and thankfully we have a session on Kaspersky threat intelligence much later in the day, so we can see it go around how we gather this intelligence, qualitative intelligence. But incorporated into the EDR that we've shown here is the Kaspersky Security Network, and it's our global threat intelligence database, where over 80 million devices connected. And what you find is this helps us as just one tool, right, to aid like much faster detection. But to your 0 days, I'll give you an example. There was the vulnerability on Chrome some weeks back that was allowing adversaries to execute a script without the user's info. So you click on the malicious link and it will run immediately just by clicking run the executable immediately just by clicking on the link. It was leveraging vulnerability in Chrome. 0 day, but we're able to detect it leveraging on one of our other components within the EDR called the exploit prevention. So it's another interesting component, but we have a number of components like that: behavior detection, exploit prevention, remediation engine. All of these guys play a role in our next gen anti-malware engine. It's not just the basic anti-malware engine or signature-based detections. It's a lot more. So we're able to make that detection, make our findings known to Google, and then they released the vulnerability for Chrome, and then they gave us the credit. And so it's interesting because you find that not a lot of other vendors were actually able to even detect in the first place, but we're able to detect, and none of our customers were affected. So this is the kind of thing that it's serious.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Mr. Ifeanyi. I believe that answers your question. Thank you.
So the kind of getting a true lens with the throwbacks, right? The series of models, like NIST, EDR, SNDR, they show have their own throwbacks. I know that you've not talked about the throwbacks. Are there issues that has not been covered in our workspace if we use that any of these models? Now I use Optima. Okay. Basically, everybody wants to go. Nobody wants to go for the best, but cost is one. It's a big drawback to us. Is there any way? I didn't look into it in the development, so we can be able to have possibly there are bundles or different models that are being bundled to have that. They can listen, but for us to get a better service.
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. I trouble to get, but the sound is a bit interesting. But I think did you get the question?
I was asking about in terms of bonding
Bondings.
its solutions because he said you can't use GDPR.
Okay.
So it's talking in terms of, or he also mentioned throwback.
Yes, number one, the throwback that's optimal had that have not told us that will make us go for. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No. Thank you very much. So in terms of bundled, we are not necessarily on lead per se in code, but we can, for example, you're interested in the MDR, you're interested in the EDR or tomorrow. We can bring them together and then run like a special discount for this bundled purchase. Or you're interested in the security awareness platform that we have plus the EDR, we can bundle and give a special discount, right? This is what we do. So maybe bundle is not the correct term. It's not one line item. It will be 2 line items, but the pricing will be much better. Not because you're purchasing both of them, you kind of like source for more discount and things like that. But as for the drawbacks, right? So that's what my colleague was trying to explain earlier when we did. We're trying to explain the stage-by-stage approach that we implement from the Kaspersky side. And it was 3 stages. So stage 1, where we looked at the more commodity threats, into stage 2, the more invasive threats, and then stage 3, where we start to look at the UPTs. Percentage-wise, we say 80% for the commodity threats, 19.9%. And then the smallest being the APT 0.1, they're actually more dangerous, right? The thing is, the expertise required increases as we go up that ladder. So when we look at the basic endpoint protection solution, or maybe like an EDR foundation, base level UPP, you find that the expertise is quite low per se, right? This means we don't necessarily have dedicated security team. We have an IT team, but this IT team is in charge of every other thing. The printer is bad, they're there. So we don't want to give them something that requires human effort, right? A lot of human effort. We can't neglect the human effort, right? People, processes, technology. But we don't want to give them something that is too intensive on the users. And so when we go up the ladder into the evasive threats and we start to look at the IT security team, at this point there's a dedicated security team, right? We now introduce something like an EDR opt-in. And at this stage, we're still giving them the base level protection, but we're giving them a bit more to find evasive threats. So for example, malicious loaders. These malicious loaders may not necessarily do anything malicious in the environment, but something that they can do is still not malicious. So if we don't have a proper tool to visualize the action of that process, we will struggle to identify the root cause. But you see, the identification of the root cause is human effort, and there's a certain level of expertise required to identify that root cause. And this is why that's stage 2. So the human effort. When we get to stage 3 at the XDR side, we're now telling ourselves that it's not enough to just detect at the endpoint level. We need to extend our coverage into the network side to our mates. And that's hence the extended technical response. So at this point, we started to collect telemetry from all of these other node sources, the network, the other security companies that you have, consolidating everything into this single pane of glass. And then have visibility, ability to run playbooks. So for example, at this stage, you can say something like, if there's a detection from the firewall, so malicious communication, maybe you're leveraging on some threat data feed somewhere, and you need some correlation rules that they host communication with ICFS. Why not create a playbook that runs automatically, and this playbook to say, the moment you see this kind of correlation, create a rule on firewalls that blocks communication, things like that. Things like that. And we see that the expertise required to then do this is also increasing. So we are not in the business of giving you a product for the sake of giving you a product. We want to first of all understand where you are on that trip, your experience together. We want to go on this journey with you, but we also want to be realistic with the expectations. So we want to give you, for example, let's say one customer will give you an XDR. It will do the work at the base level of the EDR, but the rest of the capabilities are not being utilized. So that's just how we operate. And you spend the money, exactly, it's wasted money. The cost benefit analysis there makes no sense.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. Yeah, this is interesting.
Yes.
Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. My question goes to the two. Yeah, my name is Oladele from Covenant University. So I want to know the role Exxon Solution and Kaspersky can play for an educational institution like ours. I was in a conference of recent, and it was realized that most universities in Nigeria, and not only Nigeria, do not have any cybersecurity team. Just like you just said that now, you realize that in most universities, the IT team, the people in charge of the network system and all that, they are the ones doing the exact role of cybersecurity. And you also realize that because of that, you have a solution providing cybersecurity solution for the institution, but there is no one monitoring everything that is happening. For example, we in Covenant University, we have the next EDR solution deploying the institution. But to see someone that will sit there to keep monitoring things, which is very, very important, to even know what is happening around you. We have not been able to achieve that. So we are looking at setting up a cybersecurity unit in the university. So I want to know what kind of role can you play for us to be able to achieve our goal as a cybersecurity solution.
Thank you so much, sir. Esther would like to answer the question.
Thank you.
We can assure you that, one of the things we like to do the most is giving awareness, giving education, and trying to see how we can help different organizations that we are supporting to ensure that they are digital resilient. So at any point in time that you want to put whatever you are putting together to see how kids, your team, and even the team of other universities, we are ready. And we also are trying to put together some webinar after this event, where we see how we can educate people better. So Benjamin, Jane, and other Kaspersky team members will also be part of that webinar. So even Kaspersky team outside Nigeria, they are likely going to be part of the webinar. But to address the very one that you are talking about, we are going to make ourselves available to see how we can support you in giving you the necessary education that you require. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ese. Like Ese said, we are not going to leave you stranded. If you want us to be part of your journey, we will gladly be part of your journey. Thank you, Toby. I think that will be it. Okay, there's another question. Okay. That will be the last one. So we can roll up. We can roll the question to the next session. We are still in cybersecurity event. We are here to absorb all your questions. Thank you. But you can note it down, Salma, so I don't forget.
Good morning, everyone.
Please, can you report with your name and your organization?
Okay, my name is
Okay, so when Benjamin was speaking about solutions, right? EDR, one of the special features about it is the adaptive autonomous control.
Then the XDR, what interests me was the single pane view of the solution. And then that's of the NDR, around top protection. And one special feature of that solution is the audit ready response, right? So my question is Kaspersky representative. Is there any plan from Kaspersky to actually implement that special feature from the NDR, which is the audit ready response documentation, into the XDR and the EDR?
Thank you. Benjamin, the question is directed to you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the more important thing is the value of the MDR. So the value of the MDR is the 24/7 monitoring from Kaspersky software. And that is, as per the name, managed detection and response. And so what is happening here is there's an agent on the endpoint. This agent is going to be sending telemetry, making telemetry go to a private security network and then to the Kaspersky SOC. There's going to be the telemetry collection, pipeline processing. There's going to be the triage. There's going to be the correlation, threat hunting, and all of that. And then when we find detection, when we find threats, we alert you and provide responses. And these responses would be things you can accept. So maybe kill a process, isolate a host, and run a script, things like that. You need to accept the responses, or you configure some auto acceptance rule which can be done. This is the main value of the MDR. Trying to infuse it into something else is still the MDR. Like as per the name, you've added it, but the name is still going to be MDR because the EDR agent and the MDR agent are the same.
Okay, I guess I need to.
Yeah.
Okay. If at a point there's a need to have a value realization about any of the solutions, I think that particular feature will be very helpful instead of waiting for the analyst to first analyze the logs and everything before the result is out. If this can be implemented, I think it will be very interesting.
So sorry, just to get so. When you say like you instead of wait for the analyst to analyze the logs and whatnot, what are you referring to?
Okay, let me receive some for them by again. I said the amazing feature of the EDR is the adaptive anomaly control, which we spoke about, and the XDR is the same thing view that it offers. That much I found very interesting. And then the MDR around the cloud protection, right? It's very catchy, like MDR, but it also has the ability to provide audit-ready response documentation, right? According to what it said. So that feature, particularly the audit-ready documentation response, right, being implemented to the XDR and EDR.
Maybe you're looking at things like having some playbooks, like written documentation or guided responses, or is that those the kind of things you're looking for? So instead of waiting for Kaspersky software analysts to do something, you already know what to do internally. Yeah, that's already a part of the EDR. It's just the expertise, because of it, there's capability. There's one thing to do A, and then there's another thing to know how to do it. And the MDR value is, if you are not available to do A, there's the Kaspersky team. If you are available to do A, that's fine. Or if you don't feel comfortable to do A, then let Kaspersky team do it. Not everyone is built to be a malware analyst. And what if we need to analyze malware and there's no, or there's need for digital forensics and there's no in-house expertise on digital forensics? Why not leverage on the MDR or Kaspersky sub team to assist in delivering this? Those recommendations are still made available within the EDR aspect of protection, but if you have the MDR, someone else is already doing it.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. Thank you, sir.
If your SOC analyst miss any anomaly on the firmware, somebody somewhere, an analyst, that's providing that service to you, then help you identify. It is a multi-layered platform, right? You still leveraging on your EDR and your XDR, regardless. So I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. So I love Cyber Summit already because in participants, we're looking at another participant, correct, sir? So it means that we all are learning. Like I used to say, nobody is an island of knowledge. So I think when you leave this event today, kindly believe that you're seeing that I am a cybersecurity analyst. So I was lost, but I think I can guarantee I am now. I know what to do and what service to use to protect your system. So thank you, Toby Omole, for that wonderful engagement, and Benjamin for assisting in the question.